Welcome to the channel. Today, we're going to explore some of the most valuable and sought-after coins in the market, the legendary 1-cent wheat penny. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Now, let's get started with our first rare wheat penny. We'll focus on rare wheat pennies made of copper, featuring unique color shades and minting variations that have made them major players in the coin collecting world. These rare treasures are more than just old coins. They are pieces of American history, and some of the most valuable finds collectors are chasing today. If you're a coin enthusiast or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of U.S. currency, this video is for you. Let's get started. First up, the 1953 D wheat penny is one of those coins that hides in plain sight, a small copper disc that most people might overlook, yet it carries with it a story that can completely change someone's life overnight. Struck in Denver during the post-war economic boom, this coin was part of the last era of the beloved Lincoln Wheat Penny series. At first glance, it looks like any other mid-century penny. Abraham Lincoln's familiar profile on the obverse, and the wheat stalks framing 1 cent on the reverse. But certain 1953 D examples, due to rarity, minting quirks, or pristine preservation, have become almost mythical in the world of numismatics. These are the pennies that, if you happen to find one in your possession, could transform you from an ordinary coin owner into a millionaire in a single evening. What makes some 1953 D wheat pennies unimaginably valuable is not merely age, but perfection and uniqueness. Imagine a coin that has survived over 70 years without a single fingerprint, nick, or spot of tarnish, stored away from the world, its copper luster still glowing as if it had just rolled off the Denver mint presses yesterday. Coins like this are graded at the very top of professional scale, mint state 67, 68, or even higher, and those grades turn a common cent into a numismatic diamond. Collectors and investors compete fiercely for them, driving prices into the tens of thousands, and for the most spectacular specimens, into the millions. Beyond condition, rare errors on the 1953 D wheat penny add astronomical value. In the chaos of high-volume minting, mistakes happen. Double strikes, off-center impressions, or repunch mint marks where the D was stamped more than once. These flaws are anything but flaws in the eyes of collectors. They are the quirks that make a coin one of a kind. An error penny from this year can spark bidding wars that seem unreal, because you aren't just selling a piece of copper. You're selling the only example of its kind in the entire world. The historical context of the 1953 D also adds to its mystique. This was an America still basking in post-war optimism, with industry booming and coinage reflecting both tradition and progress. The wheat reverse design had been around since 1909, but its days were numbered, as the memorial reverse would soon take over in 1959. This makes the 53 DA part of the closing chapter of one of the most iconic coin designs in U.S. history. Owning one in exceptional form isn't just having a coin. It's holding a piece of the nation's golden mid-century spirit in your palm. For some lucky individuals, stumbling upon a rare 1953 D penny has truly been a life-altering moment. Imagine finding an old jar of change in the attic, sorting through it lazily, only to realize one coin in your hand is the exact variety auction houses dream of. That tiny disc could represent a mortgage paid off, a retirement secured, or a bank account suddenly swelling with more money than you've ever seen. It's no exaggeration to say this coin holds the power to rewrite someone's destiny. Market demand for the 1953 D wheat penny is relentless. Serious coin investors know that high-grade and rare error coins from this year almost never surface. When they do, they don't just sell, they ignite bidding frenzies. Auction rooms grow tense, voices rise, and prices climb in rapid-fire jumps as determined collectors refuse to back down. That's the level of passion this coin inspires, and it's why its value has soared beyond what most people would consider reasonable for a 1-cent piece. One of the reasons this coin can be worth millions today is that many were lost to circulation or melted down over the decades. Copper pennies were often used until they were worn smooth, meaning high-quality survivors are extremely rare. This scarcity is the engine of value. When only a handful of elite examples exist, collectors will stop at nothing to own them. Another factor boosting the coin's allure is the growing global interest in U.S. numismatics. Wealthy buyers from around the world are entering the market, competing with American collectors, and pushing prices into uncharted territory. A coin like the 1953 D in immaculate condition is not just a collectible, it's an international trophy. The beauty of the wheat penny design cannot be ignored, either. The reverse, with its symmetrical wheat stalks, exudes a classic elegance, while the obverse sharp engraving of Lincoln is a timeless portrait. In high-grade examples, every line, every grain, every curve is razor-sharp, making the coin a miniature masterpiece of 20th century minting. Stories abound of people who almost spent their fortune making penny, sliding it into a vending machine or dropping it into a tip jar, unaware of its value. That's why, if you have a 1953 D wheat penny, you must never spend it casually. Its worth is not tied to the 1 cent stamped on it, but to the history, rarity, and collector obsession that swirl around it like a golden aura. The coin's potential to change fortunes overnight is not an exaggeration. It is a reality witnessed in the auction world time and again. What seems like an ordinary piece of pocket change can become the headline sale of the year, making its owner a millionaire in the blink of an eye. This is why coin experts urge everyone to check their change, search their drawers, and examine every old penny closely. In the end, the 1953 D wheat penny is more than just a piece of metal. It is a time capsule, an art object, an investment, and in some cases, a ticket to unimaginable wealth. If you possess one of these extraordinary coins, treat it with the respect of a crown jewel. It is a small copper-colored key that can unlock a future you never dared to imagine. If you want, I can now create for you a dramatic, attention-grabbing short script for a viral video about the 1953 D wheat penny that would hook viewers in the first 5 seconds and keep them watching until the end. That would make your audience feel the fortune hidden in their change. Let's get started. First up one. The 1944 wheat penny is a coin that has stirred the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters for decades. Struck during the height of World War II, it carries not only the weight of copper in history, but also the whispers of unimaginable value in rare cases. While millions of these coins were minted for everyday use, there exist versions so rare and unique that they can command sums in the millions in today's market. These aren't just coins. They are keys to life-changing fortunes, hidden in plain sight in drawers, jars, or old collections, waiting to be discovered by an unsuspecting owner. Part of the allure of the 1944 wheat penny lies in its timing. This was the year following the experimental steel cents of 1943, when the U.S. Mint had shifted back to copper due to changing wartime needs. However, minting machinery is not perfect, and in a few astonishing cases, the wrong metal planchets, steel ones from 1943, were accidentally struck with the 1944 design. These rare errors have since become legends, with collectors willing to part with staggering amounts to own such a mistake. The possibility of finding one turns an ordinary penny into a potential jackpot. To a seasoned collector, the 1944 wheat penny's charm isn't only about rarity. It's about history captured in metal. The obverse bears a dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln, the nation's emblem of unity and resilience, while the reverse showcases 2 stylized wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. These design choices give the coin a timeless look, a quiet reminder of a nation in the midst of both hardship and determination. Even a standard copper 1944 penny can be worth far more than face value in pristine condition. But the rare errors are in an entirely different league. Imagine the story of someone rummaging through a relative's old coin jar and spotting what appears to be an ordinary, slightly worn penny. The surface looks dull, maybe even silvery under certain light. They think little of it, until an expert examines it and declares it's one of the ultra-rare 1944 steel wheat pennies. Overnight, that coin could leap from pocket change to a windfall large enough to buy a house, pay off debts, and secure financial freedom. These real-life stories feed the public's fascination with the coin's potential. It's not just steel planchets that drive the value sky high. Certain varieties, such as double-die errors, off-center strikes, or coins struck with extraordinary sharpness and preserved in mint state, also command serious premiums. Collectors know that a coin in perfect condition tells a different story. It survived decades without the nicks, scratches, and wear of circulation. To find a flawless 1944 wheat penny is to hold a fragment of history that looks just as it did when it left the mint 80 years ago. The market for such coins has only grown as stories circulate of auction sales hitting eye-watering figures. In a world where rare baseball cards, vintage watches, and even comic books sell for millions, it's no wonder that a humble penny, if rare enough, can join those ranks. For many, the hunt is about the thrill as much as the money. Every time they check their change, they are playing a silent game of what if? What if the next coin they pick up is the one? And here's where the cautionary tale comes in. People have unknowingly spent fortunes by passing off rare 1944 pennies as ordinary money, tossing them into vending machines or handing them over for a coffee. The difference between a 1-cent piece and a $1 million treasure lies in knowledge and attention to detail. That's why coin experts urge everyone to examine old coins carefully, especially those from historically significant years like 1944. Even among ordinary copper 1944 pennies, small differences, like a D mint mark for Denver or an S for San Francisco, can make a difference in value. But when it comes to the steel-era pennies, their scarcity is staggering. Fewer than 50 authentic examples are believed to exist, and each one is essentially priceless to the right collector. Owning such a coin doesn't just mean you have an asset. It means you hold a piece of minting history that shouldn't even exist. The 1944 wheat penny, therefore, occupies a strange space between everyday object and legendary artifact. Most are common, yes, but the rare variants have the power to rewrite your financial destiny overnight. They are time capsules from an era when the world was at war. The U.S. Mint was adapting to resource shortages, and no one could have imagined that a simple mistake would one day become a golden, steel or copper ticket. Collectors often describe the moment of finding one as surreal. The coin feels heavier, not in weight, but in meaning. It represents the dream of the treasure hunt fulfilled. Proof that sometimes miracles hide in the most ordinary places. In the world of numismatics, few coins can ignite such excitement, command such loyalty from collectors, and inspire such daydreams of sudden wealth. If you ever find a 1944 wheat penny, especially one that looks silver or has an unusual appearance, do not dismiss it. Have it professionally authenticated and graded. Even if it's not the ultra-rare steel version, a high-grade copper penny can still bring in hundreds or thousands from eager buyers. But if it is one of the true rarities, you could be looking at a sale price in the millions. The bottom line? The 1944 wheat penny is a reminder that sometimes life's greatest fortunes hide in plain sight. Whether it's tucked in a jar, resting in a desk drawer, or jingling in an old coat pocket, that tiny piece of metal could be the spark that transforms an ordinary day into the day everything changes. And all it takes is a sharp eye, a little knowledge, and the courage not to spend it for soda. If you want, I could also craft a high-impact auction-style version of this 1944 wheat penny story, designed to sound like a Millionaire Maker TV ad, so it's even more grabbing. Would you like me to do that next? The 1954 D wheat penny from the United States of America is one such coin, a small copper masterpiece that carries with it not just history, but an almost mythical reputation among collectors. While to the casual observer it might appear as just another penny from the mid-20th century, to the trained eye of a numismatist, this coin is a treasure chest disguised in copper. The D mint mark below the date tells us it was struck at the Denver Mint, a detail that adds a unique layer to its story and scarcity. The magic of the 1954 D wheat penny lies not only in its age, but in the intriguing mix of condition, rarity, and historical context that drives its value to unimaginable heights in today's market. This coin was minted during a period when the United States was booming post-World War II, yet still rooted in older traditions of coin craftsmanship. The wheat stalks on the reverse side stand as proud symbols of America's agricultural heritage, while the bold portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse reminds us of resilience and unity. Even if millions were minted, the survival of pristine, uncirculated examples is rare, and in numismatics, rarity is the spark that ignites value. But rarity alone does not explain why the 1954 D Wheat Penny could command millions today under the right circumstances. The real excitement stems from errors, misstrikes, and dive variations that sometimes occurred during production. Imagine finding a 1954 D with a dramatic double die obverse, or one struck on the wrong planchet. Such minting anomalies can multiply the value many times over. A flawless coin with such a rare error is the kind of find that turns humble collectors into overnight millionaires. These are the treasures that auction houses fight to display, and wealthy buyers fight to own. Every 1954, D Wheat Penny tells its own story. Some have been tucked away in jars, passed down through generations, forgotten until discovered in a dusty attic. Others have spent decades traveling from hand to hand, surviving the wear of daily transactions until rescued by someone who recognized their potential. The beauty of this coin's journey is that it can still appear in the most unexpected places. Slipped into an old book, hidden in a safe deposit box, or even resting quietly in a mixed pile of change. Collectors are drawn to the 1954, not just for profit, but for the thrill of the hunt. The adrenaline rush of spotting one in extraordinary condition is unlike anything else. You're not just finding a penny. You're uncovering a relic, a piece of history that has weathered the tides of time and economic change. For serious collectors, adding a flawless or rare error in 1954, D to their collection is like finding a missing gemstone in a crown. For casual finders, it can mean instant financial transformation. The market for such coins is fierce, with value skyrocketing when the right combination of rarity and condition appears. Numismatic auctions have seen certain wheat pennies, including rare 1954 D specimens, fetch staggering amounts that seem almost unreal. This is the kind of coin that could easily make headlines. Forgotten penny found in sock drawer sells for millions. While not every 1954 D commands such sums, the ones that do are living proof that sometimes the smallest treasures hold the greatest worth. Holding a perfect 1954 D in your hand is like holding condensed history. The fine copper tone, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, the precise detail of the wheat stalks, all preserved as if time dared not touch them, create a sense of awe. You can almost imagine the Denver Mint workers of 1954 never suspecting that their routine day's work would yield something that, decades later, would be worth more than luxury homes or rare art pieces. The scarcity of high-grade examples is due to circulation, where environmental damage and the sheer passage of time. Copper is a soft metal, prone to scratches and tarnish, which means finding one in mint state condition is exceptionally rare. Add in the allure of certain known errors from that year, and you have a perfect storm of collectability. This is why, in the current market, a 1954 D in the right condition can command unimaginable sums, often crossing into life-changing territory. For those lucky enough to possess this coin, the advice is simple. Do not let it go cheaply. This is not the kind of coin to spend at face value, or sell hastily for a few $100s. Instead, it demands careful evaluation by trusted numismatic experts, and, if worthy, presentation at prestigious coin auctions where wealthy bidders from around the globe compete for ownership. The right sale could indeed make you a millionaire, or, in rare cases, a multimillionaire, overnight. In a way, the 1954 D Wheat Penny is a symbol of hidden potential. It's a reminder that extraordinary value can be concealed in the most ordinary forms. While others pass by without a second glance, the person who knows what they hold in their palm sees the key to transforming their fortunes. It's the perfect metaphor for opportunity itself. Quiet, humble, but powerful beyond measure when recognized. Every time one of these coins surfaces and sells for an astonishing sum, it reignites the passion of collectors and treasure hunters alike. Stories circulate, imaginations run wild, and drawers of old change are emptied across the country in search of the next big find. This cycle of discovery and excitement ensures that the legend of the 1954 D Wheat Penny will only grow stronger with time. So, if you are lucky enough to have this coin in your possession, treat it with the care and respect it deserves. It is more than just copper. It is a slice of American history, a potential ticket to unimaginable wealth, and a tangible reminder that the most extraordinary treasures are often hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right person to recognize their worth. Next up, The 1957 D wheat penny may seem like an ordinary piece of copper to the casual observer, but to the trained eye of a coin collector, it can be a portal to unimaginable fortune. Minted in Denver during the final years of the iconic wheat cent series, this coin carries a blend of history, rarity, and the allure of hidden treasures. While millions were produced, certain variations, minting errors, and pristine conditions can elevate a single coin's worth from a humble cent to a jaw-dropping sum that could transform a person's life overnight. It is this mystique, the idea that a penny in your pocket could be worth millions, that makes the 1957 D such a captivating subject in the numismatic world. One of the most intriguing aspects of the 1957 D penny is its place in the broader narrative of American coinage. By 1957, the wheat stalk reverse had been a familiar sight for nearly half a century, but its days were numbered, with the Lincoln Memorial reverse just 2 years away. Collectors often prize the final years of a series, knowing that these coins represent the end of an era. The Denver Mint's D mark on this penny adds another layer of collectability, especially for those seeking to complete high-grade sets that tell the story of America's mid-20th century coin production. But the real magic of the 1957 D wheat penny lies in the possibility of rare, almost mythical error coins. Ms. strikes, double die obverse errors, off-center strikes, or coins struck on the wrong planchets are like the golden tickets of the numismatic world. Some of these errors can propel a coin's value into 6 or even 7 figures, depending on their uniqueness and condition. Imagine holding a penny and realizing it's one of perhaps only a handful in existence, a coin so rare that elite collectors would compete fiercely to own it. Condition is king in the coin market, and the 1957 D is no exception. A regular circulation coin might fetch a few cents or dollars, but a pristine, uncirculated example graded at the highest mint state levels, especially MS 67 or above, can soar in value. Collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts for coins that have survived decades without a single blemish, each shimmering luster marking it as a relic preserved against all odds. In these top grades, even a common date coin can suddenly become a showpiece worth thousands. Then there are the proof-like examples, coins with mirror-like surfaces and razor-sharp details, sometimes the result of an early strike from freshly polished dies. While not officially proofs, these dazzling pieces captivate serious buyers and auction houses alike. When such a coin also exhibits a dramatic error or a double die, its value skyrockets into realms that defy logic, making headlines and rewriting price records. It's important to remember that coins like the 1957 D penny are more than just monetary assets. They are artifacts of history. Each one carries the fingerprints of an era, from the booming post-war economy to the craftsmanship of the Denver Mint's engravers. In that sense, the worth of such a coin goes beyond dollars. It embodies a connection to the past, a tangible piece of American heritage that can be held in the palm of your hand. The dream of finding a 1957 D worth millions is not entirely fantasy. History is filled with stories of rare coins emerging from forgotten jars, estate sales, or even pocket change. In 2019, for example, a rare Lincoln cent from another date fetched an astronomical price simply because of a unique minting error. Such stories fuel the hope that anyone could stumble upon a life-changing treasure in the most unexpected place. For those lucky enough to own a high-value 1957 D, selling it is a strategic decision. Auction houses specializing in rare coins can connect sellers with elite collectors who will bid aggressively for the best specimens. Private sales can also yield incredible offers, especially if the coin's rarity and condition are backed by professional grading and authentication. In the right circumstances, this humble penny could indeed be the key to instant wealth. The psychology of owning such a coin is equally fascinating. There's a thrill in knowing that something so small and seemingly ordinary could possess the power to rewrite your financial destiny. For some, the temptation to sell immediately is irresistible. For others, the coin becomes a cherished heirloom, a symbol of good fortune to be passed down through generations. However, with great value comes great risk. The market for rare coins attracts not only passionate collectors, but also opportunists and counterfeiters. Any 1957 D that shows signs of extreme rarity should be evaluated by reputable grading services like PCGS or NGC. Their certification can mean the difference between an undervalued sale and a record-breaking payday. In the end, the 1957 D Wheat Penny is a coin that blurs the line between everyday currency and legendary treasure. Its allure lies not only in its potential market value, but also in the stories it carries, the history of its design, the mystery of its minting quirks, and the hope that somewhere in a jar or drawer, a life-changing example still waits to be discovered. If you have one of these coins, resist the urge to part with it hastily. Research it, protect it, and have it professionally assessed. Because in the vast world of numismatics, sometimes a single penny truly can be worth a fortune, and the 1957 D Wheat Penny is proof that even the smallest coin can hold the biggest secrets. If you like, I could also create for you an extremely captivating auction-style listing description for this 1957 D Wheat Penny that could hook buyers emotionally and financially. That would make the script even more marketable.